We have exciting breakthrough medical news to share with you today. There are major strides being made to treat Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, and it's all thanks to a biotech company, Coya Therapeutics. Joining us now is the CEO and chairman of the board of Coya Therapeutics, Dr. Howard Berman. Dr. Berman, welcome to Bloom.
Thank you, Gail. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Dr. Berman, I want to get into the science of Coya Therapeutics, but first, I think it's important to share with our viewers that fighting neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease is very personal to you.
Yes, it is. Myself, like many other people, have had family members who have been afflicted by the disease. And in fact, my own father, brilliant man who was a triple board certified physician, was unfortunately, I would say about 9-10 years ago, we started to notice a decline. And over a period of time, he kept on getting worse and worse. And that turned out to be a form of dementia. And he lost his battle a few months ago. So it's very meaningful, and it's very important that we develop new treatments.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, this is a big problem, neurodegenerative diseases of all types for Americans. How are you going about treating it? Because I know one of the big issues that you target is inflammation.
Inflammation is one of the most critical mediators of the decline of the patients. And I think it's been under-recognized for a long period of time, but it's now becoming really a household name. What happens is when the neurons get into trouble in the brain, wherever the disease pathology is, so it could be for Alzheimer's in the hippocampus, or for ALS, it's the motor neurons. What happens is the neurons get into trouble, they become sick, and the immune system sends cells to those neurons to try and to remove the toxic proteins. But then it ultimately becomes a pathologic process, and the immune system sort of goes haywire and out of control, and that leads to the death and destruction of the neurons, and the patient ultimately keeps on declining because of this enhanced inflammatory effect.
And what's promising about your approach to dealing with this is that, clinical studies show that you're making great progress, especially when it comes to targeting issues like Alzheimer's and ALS.
That's correct. We have noticed and we have discovered that there's a key cell in the body called the regulatory T cell, the Treg for short, that is a cell that controls inflammation in the body. And when it is dysfunctional, as it is in many of these neurodegenerative diseases, there's a heightened level of inflammation. And our approach is to enhance those Tregs, we call them the good guys, upregulate them in the body. And we do that with our therapeutics, and by doing so, we significantly can dampen the inflammation, and by doing so, we can either we would like to slow or potentially stop the progression of these diseases.
And let's talk about Coya 301. What exactly is that?
Coya 301 is a low-dose interleukin-2. It's a type of protein. It's a naturally derived protein in your body, and it acts to enhance or upregulate the Tregs. So it converts, if you will, the bad guy, the dysfunctional Tregs to good guy Tregs so that they can slow or stop the progression. It stabilizes the Tregs in the bloodstream. And so what we've done is we've taken this low-dose IL-2, and we have a unique formulation of the low-dose IL-2, and we administer it subcutaneously. We give it to patients every once a week or twice a week. Mm-hmm. And we've tested that in a proof of concept trial in Alzheimer's patients. And the data was quite striking to us, and we're very excited about that.
Well, Dr. Berman, all of this is so exciting. I know our viewers are going to be fascinated by this, and I really appreciate you joining us on Bloom to share everything that you're doing.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And to learn more about what Coya Therapeutics is doing to stay on top of the announcements, you can visit their website, CoyaTherapeutics.com. We'll be back with more Bloom right after this.